Hey, Cody.
Hey, man, what's up?
There's, something I've been trying to tell you for a long time now. It's kind of weighing on my mind lately.
What's going on, man?
Is it a big deal?
I don't know, maybe kinda. I've gotten into some really dark shit, you know?
What's going on? What are you into?
I've been getting into arguments
That's not so bad.
on the internet.
TJ, come on, man.
It was just like, it started off as a discussion, and then it was like a heated discussion, and next thing I know, we're calling each other faggot and asshole and cunt and douchebag and dipshit.
Well, that's how
shit
it
for
always.
brains.
That's how it always starts
It's-
out, isn't it?
It's been going on for months now. Okay, so there's a woman on a bus in Philadelphia, and she's got a small kid with her, and she spanks her fucking kid's ass, and some other passenger on the bus says to her, "Yeah, don't be doing that shit. It's wrong." And she said, "Oh, back off, motherfucker." And she calls her boyfriend and says, "You know, when I get to my stop, come on the bus and shoot this guy for talking shit to me." So she gets at her bus stop, and a bunch of thugs are waiting there with guns, because I guess her boyfriend had some clout with some other gun-toting motherfuckers. They stood outside the bus, kind of looking scared, and then the bus started driving away, and I think they popped a few shots at it. No one was hurt. That story really doesn't matter, though. That's just the catalyst for what happened next. The real story, not people getting shot. That's boring. Who gives a shit? What matters is what happened to me later on the internet. So the next thing I know, some dumb fuck on Reddit is commenting on this story, and he says, "We need to just execute those motherfuckers. They're never gonna do anything good for society, so we just need to execute them now." First of all, I wasn't aware that the value of human life was determined by societal contribution. And what the fuck is societal contribution anyway? And who are you to say whether or not someone's contributing to society? And they do contribute to society because they make up their own society. It's gang society. You know, it's a society that is the problem. It's not these individuals that are the problem. And that's what I tried to communicate to this guy. I said to him, you know, it's not like these guys are just bad. They were born bad, and, you know, no matter what their living circumstances growing up, they still would have had guns, and they still would have shot up a bus. That's not the case. We all know that. You know, how many kids from, like, upper middle class families, you know, arm themselves to the teeth and go around shooting people over minor disagreements? Does it happen? Sure. But does it happen nearly as much as it does in the lower echelon? Fuck no. And you think upbringing has nothing to do with it? Of course it does. But it's not just upbringing. It's not like these motherfuckers were just raised wrong. It's a matter of their peer group. It's a matter of the subculture. They belong to a violent subculture where violence is permissible, where violence is acceptable, where what they did is not viewed as morally reprehensible. It's viewed as okay. That's why they do this shit. And that's what I said to the guy. I said, you know, it's not really about them. They're the symptom. The disease is this subculture that accepts and embraces the use of violence. And he said, "Oh, so you just want to let all criminals go? Just blame society. What happened to individual responsibility?" You know, crying like the fucking libertarian scumfuck he is, like, individualism. And then there was this other guy on there who said, "Well, I grew up in a poor area, and a lot of people I knew became criminals, but I didn't. So you're full of shit. You're full of shit that poverty causes this." Oh, okay, because it didn't cause it in one person. Right. That's like someone saying, "Oh, radiation doesn't have any negative health effects. I was around radiation and I'm fine. Yeah, like 30 other people I knew got sick, but that was their choice, man." We're living in some pretty fucking weird times when someone can seriously endorse ideologically based genocide and everyone sides with them. I mean, what the fuck is going on? I think that this ultimately amounts to people wanting to build themselves up and make their choices into this larger ordeal than they actually are, because they have this deluded notion that everything they are and everything they're made of is something that came from them, that it came from from within, that it had nothing to do with upbringing, it has nothing to do with the peer group they found themselves in, it has nothing to do with the opportunities that were presented to them in their life. It's all to do with some like inherent awesomeness that just lingers within them. And I mean, we do have a measure of control over our destinies. I'm not saying that we don't, but that's not even close to being the only factor. If any person who looks at their life honestly can point to times and point to instances and point to influences that if they didn't have them or if they'd had something else, their life would have been totally different. And what this guy is basically saying is that these motherfuckers who shot this bus are just scum that are beneath me because I would never do anything like that. How the fuck do you know? Until you've lived their lives, how the fuck do you know? And I'm not saying these guys shouldn't be punished. I'm just saying that we shouldn't summarily execute them because they don't fit with some social ideal. That's fucking retarded. Why do I do this? Why do I get in arguments on the internet? It's completely pointless. It's completely meaningless. You know, no one's ever going to come to any sort of agreement because there's no real humanity there. It's just my opinions versus your opinions, and it's just pure, raw bile and hatred because we can't look each other in the eye, we can't hear each other's tone of voice. You know, so it's completely meaningless. Maybe this guy that I'm arguing with on the internet isn't such a bad fuck after all. Maybe he's an okay dude, and he's just fucking blowing off steam, and these opinions are more emotional than intellectual, and he hasn't really thought them through, and if he did, he would come around more to my way of thinking, and we could meet in like the middle, or come to some sort of consensus, or at least some sort of understanding. But it's impossible on the internet just through text, because, you know, there's no humanity there. It's just cold words on a screen that are basically just like designed to piss me off. You know, so I mean, it's really easy to dehumanize someone. I think that's why arguing on the internet is such a maligned activity, simply because there's a lot less possibility there for any sort of coming together, for any sort of consilience. It's just not going to happen. But when it comes, getting back to, I mean, I know I'm fucking juggling two topics here, and I wish there was some way I could neatly tether them together and say, here's how this instance is actually kind of like arguing on the internet, but I don't have that. I don't have the thing that links them both together, except maybe this. Maybe I'm committing the same crime that he is when I dehumanize him, because he is dehumanizing those guys. Maybe we all just need to remember that the people we're talking about, whether they be the criminals that we see in some video, or they be the people that we argue with on the internet, they're actual human beings somewhere. They have thoughts, they have feelings. They're probably every bit as real and sophisticated as we ourselves are. I think maybe, just fucking maybe, we could improve the internet as a whole if we all just fucking came to that realization. No, not just the internet. We can improve humanity as a whole if we just came to that realization. Of course, I'm not gonna fucking do it, because that guy sucks. Our 400-page photo book containing behind-the-scenes photos and commentary from myself and Cody Weber is available below. There's only 10 copies left, so get them quickly. Also, you can buy the director's cut of the documentary Amazing. Also directed by me, motherfuckers! Ha ha ha! Faggot! I hate you.